Hello Internet, and today is going to be another one of those book opinions, those videos in which I tell you my opinion on a book, and today's book is going to be the second book in the Jack Blank series by Matt Mullich, The Secret Wars. So this is book number 2. It follows from where we left Jack in the first book, as sequels tend to do. So we continue with Jack, and we have found out his secret, right? So he's had the Rustovuk virus in his body, and it's like all in his body, but it's dormant. And now we finally figured out what this really means for Jack and how important he is to the Rustovuk in the war, and that they want him, and that he is potentially the biggest Rustovuk villain that ever existed, their greatest weapon. And so in this book, Jack is trying to keep all of this as a secret. He doesn't want anyone to find out that he is potentially the biggest weapon that the Rustovuk could have, that these dormant cells mean a lot more than anyone else feared originally, that their fears might actually be justified. Like, he's hated enough as is for being the sole survivor of getting this virus. He doesn't need people to find out the reality of what having this virus dormant in his blood means. And this is where he starts to get more in depth and finding out and figuring out his powers over technology, because that's what he does. He can communicate and talk to it. So he starts to get really invested in it. And one of his biggest mentors is that guru guy. I think he's actually called Guru. I haven't looked it up, but I'm gonna call him the guru guy, that old monk dude that kept talking about being super mysterious. So one of his biggest mentors during all of this is the guru, because the guru is the master of secrets. He has survived for so long because his power is super amazing, but he survived for so long keeping all the secrets, and he is the head of the secret place on Imagination, whatever it's called, Incognito. So he is actually the head chair of Incognito. He is the master of secrets. So he's trying to mentor Jack in how to keep all these secrets. But Jack doesn't know how to keep secrets. He's never had to before. And these are really big ones. So they're life-destroying ones. And he has friends now that he really cares about. But they can't trust him if he has all these secrets, so he's really crushed. And we come to a point where this book was my favorite book in the series, because I really loved that struggle that Jack was having, where he was I have so many of these secrets, I can't let people figure it out, and he has valid fears and valid reasons why he doesn't want anyone to figure out. And so he won't tell his friends what's going on, he won't discuss it with anybody, and he starts to try to figure out all the ways he can to keep his secrets close at heart but still do the right thing. And slowly everything starts to tumble out of his control because he has all these secrets, and people start getting angry at him. And it all makes so much sense, because I'm I don't know who's right and wrong here, because I'm on Jack's side, honestly. I'm with him. I'm those are some dangerous secrets. You don't want everybody knowing your business, and it seems like dangerous people keep sticking their nose in your business. So I would be with you trying to figure out every avenue to try to keep my secrets safe, but then I understand his friends being angry that he's not telling them the truth, that he's constantly lying, that he's disappearing out of the blue. It makes so much sense. So I think this was the most fitting names, because it really is a war of secrets. It's Jack is trying to keep all of these secrets, but slowly they're being pulled and teared away from him by other people, and he starts having a battle not only with himself but with everyone else of trying to keep these secrets safe. And that was the best part. So we see more of the school atmosphere and what's going on with the school. We get to learn more about his friends, Legra and Knife Dude. I can't remember what his name is. He has this power where he can cut things with his swords as long as he believes that he can cut them. So he can cut a mountain in half, but he couldn't cut a human if he wasn't set on in his heart that was the right thing to do. So it's very interesting. It's an intriguing concept. But we learn more about them. We learn more about the Rustovuk, which have been this huge looming entity that have had it out for everyone else. We learn a little more about Allegra and her, and she starts to become a stronger character than she was in the first book, and she starts to grow confidence. So it was really nice to see her be such a good friend to Jack, and we see this friendship grow and bud between them. I like the introduction of new characters and new powers, because one thing that I've always loved about these books in particular is that it's such a mix of genres. So we get to explore different places in imagination and the different abilities different people have. So we really start to see what it looks like when you take a bunch of different genres and you put them all together in one place. And it was such an intriguing concept, seeing a dude from the medieval fight an alien robot while like a girl who had a superpower that could gibberize your words. Like, it was such a fun time to see all of these things and all of these elements that you've never seen crossed before be crossed. To see ninjas beside superheroes, to see superheroes beside Strook aliens, to see aliens beside a dude who is like this medieval Viking guy who like lived in barbaric times. Like, it was just such a fascinating thing to see all of these things mixed together, when usually we see just like one or two of these elements mixed together in some sort of capacity, but to see all of them exist in the same time, in the same place, at the same time was super, super great. I really loved what this dude did with superpowers. He really invented some superpowers I hadn't seen before, and I've seen a lot of them. Like, I've seen a lot of them. Not to toot my own horn, but I've seen a lot, okay? So to actually see ones where I'm just like, what? That's really cool. Like the Guru superpower, super cool. I was so excited for all of those sort of things. So once again, this book is really, really fun. It's an easy middle grade read. It really does some things that I haven't seen that often in writing from authors, because it does something so big to bring all these different genres together. It does have like little moments of cliches, but for as much of those little moments of what we know to expect, he also goes off the road and does things that aren't as common, that you wouldn't automatically assume an author to do, even if you're hopeful. Like that point and where we figure out Jack's true identity in the end of the first book, and we're fully realizing it in this book, it was something that like I knew was gonna happen, because I was just like, oh, I want this to happen. But I hadn't seen many authors go there, that I was so self-assured that that's where the story would go. And when it did, I was so excited. I was just like, yes, it happened. It happened. But like, it's just such a nice moment. So definitely check this book out if you're into seeing a genre clash. If you're interested in like, if like you're not mad at middle grades, if you can read middle grades and still enjoy it, then do that. If you like all alleys of fiction more strongly, in sci-fi and superhero and that sort of high-tech sci-fi sort of fiction, this is definitely stronger here, but you get to see little bits and pieces from the other realms of fiction as well. Definitely liked it. So this was a book that I read that I really enjoyed, and I think that if you like having a good time with what you're reading and just want to be excited and like just have innocent joy over the wonderful things that can happen before your eyes, pick this book up. And if you like what you're seeing here, then click all those bunnies down below, and goodbye, internet.